Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever it is, whenever it is you watch this video. If you've watched some of my videos recently, you'll have seen that I've acquired some really nice looking quarters and this really nice 1959 proof set. And I talked about the idea of getting these graded. Well, I thought it would be fun to kind of walk everybody through the process of looking at and estimating a grade. Now, I have never done this before. I've purchased graded coins. I am not a professional grader, so take all this with a grain of salt. But what I'd like to do is show each and every one of you how I am comparing these against different resources to say that I think it's going to grade here, I think it's going to have this. We're going to use my microscope. We're going to use PCGS PhotoGrade Online to compare them there. Then I want to get an estimated grade for each one of these coins, and then we'll send them off. And I'm actually going to send them to NGC instead of PCGS because I have an ANA membership, so it's cheaper for me to send to NGC. However, I think it would be fun to go through the process. I'm going to break this up into a number of videos. And we'll get started with the first video where we look at actually these quarters first, and then we'll break up the proof set later. But I just thought it'd be really cool to go through the process to kind of show everybody how this works. And then when they all come back, we'll see how good we did. So if you give me a minute, we'll go ahead and get set up. Okay, so to kind of talk about how this is going to work today, I have over on the side of the screen here, this is PCGS PhotoGrade Online. Now, there is a great app, the Koins app, that also has this available as well. But what is nice is you can compare because they have a photo of every coin at every grade. So that's what we're going to be doing. Is we're going to be taking these coins and we're going to be looking at and try to compare those grades to see what we think, or what I think they might be. So we're going to start with this 1947 San Francisco. And I'm going to put it under the scope and we're going to have a look at it. All right, so here we are. Now, under the scope, it's a little different, okay? This is really a nice looking quarter, okay? So what looked to be bag marks, or not bag marks, but looked to be circulation marks in those fields aren't really an issue at all. They look really, really quite nice. So I'm next going to zoom in my microscope and we're going to go to some areas and we're going to look at some of the details here. All right. So one of the things you'll notice on the screen is I have two up. So this is an MS67 and an MS68. So I want to take a look and compare to see what these look like. So I can go ahead and slide this down. We'll move this down to, here's a 66 and a 67. Now here's that 65 and that 66. And this is where I'm going to stop, is I want to see the 64 and the 65. Because I want to take a look at, you can see right here on Washington's cheek, he's got a little bit of a mark. Nothing super, super egregious. The fields are very, very clean. There's one big, not big nick, there's one nick right there in his forehead. Okay. A little bit of an issue with the T there. I don't think that is post-mint damage, although it might be. As we're going around here, the fields are clean. The shine on this is really quite amazing. We'll come down here and we'll look at the dates. And then let's focus in on the hair. Okay, so I'm going to go right here. And I'm going to zip way down to a very fine grade. So I'm going to go all the way down. Okay. I'm all the way down to a very fine. Okay. And what's neat about being able to compare these is you can see areas that start to wear more than others. Okay. So the hairlines start to wear away. We start to lose some of that there as we get down to the very fine and the XF. And then let's go ahead and flip it over to the reverse and have a look at it here. Okay. Let's look specifically at these breast feathers. Okay. So you can see right in the middle of that coin, right in the middle of that eagle, there is definition left in those breast feathers. And if you're looking down in like that XF40, that's gone. Okay, there's no definition there at all. You can still see definition on the coin I have under the scope. So let's go ahead and let's go back up a ways. Let's get back up to, back up to that mint state. I want to look at like a mint state 60, 1 or a 60. Okay. So here we have that 60 and the 61. Okay, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so we can get a little bit better view of the entire coin. Pardon me while I fix the focus. There we go. So now you can see we have some definition in the breast feathers. It's a little bit not as good as I would like. I'm still leaning toward that MS60. Let's come down here. Let's see what we have here. Looking down below at the plants underneath. Let's look at the tips of the eagle's wings up here at the top of the eagle's wings. You'll notice in these lower grade quarters, they start to buff down at the top of the eagle wings. All right, we'll flip it over one more time. So as I look at this, let me know down in the chat or in the comment sections what you think this quarter is going to grade at. I'm going to zoom all the way out. We'll get her dialed in and focused in here. Okay, so this is a really, really nice looking quarter. You still have tons of luster on that quarter, but based on where the nicks are in this quarter, based on some of the wear patterns, let's have a look at 62 or 63. I am going to say that this quarter is going to grade MS62. Now, I could be quite wrong, but this is my first time doing that. So remember, we're just doing some comparison. I'm looking at pictures, comparing pictures to get an idea of how this works. So I'm thinking that we have an MS62 quarter, and now it's a matter of sending it off and seeing. So 1947 San Francisco MS62 is our guess. This is a 1941 San Francisco. Okay. A lot of luster still left on this coin. Very nice looking coin. Looking here, I don't see any huge scratches or scuffs. I see a little bit more wear in the fields, but let's put it under the scope and have a look. Okay, so there we go. Now, we're going to look for the same exact spots on these quarters as we did the last quarter. We're going to look to see at wear patterns, where things have been knocked down, where there are issues. So we're going to zoom in again. All right, let's look in those fields. Okay, so here we got a lot of little scratches in the fields. Little cross hatches. I'm hoping these are circulation scratches and not cleaning scratches. I'm a little worried because of the uniform nature of what those look like, that this might be cleaned. However, we're still going to send it in and see what we get. And then as we come around here to George's neck, there's a lot more dings and that sort of stuff in the wear of this quarter. So I'm actually going to zip all the way down to, let's look at the difference between an AU50 and an XF45. All right, here we are, AU50 versus XF45. Okay. So again, I'm looking at this, and in the fields we have lots of little scritches and scratches, which I believe from standard circulation. Let's zoom in on the hair. Okay. We can still see a little bit of the hairline, enough that I would say it would go higher than that XF45. Coming down here, there's some issues with the neck. Date looks good, rim looks good all the way around. Let's flip it over to the reverse, and we're going to look at those breast feathers on there. Actually, those breast feathers look really good. Right along a line, I'm going to say that looks into that AU50. Looking at the top of those eagle wings, still nice and defined. There's a pretty good nick right there. Down here at the bottom, look at that, those eagle wings. Mint mark is bright. Not too bad. Just a couple of places here. So because George has a few more nicks, I'm going to mark him down a ways, but I don't know if he's going to be down to AU50. Let's take a look at what a 55 or a 58 would look like. Okay, I'm going to zoom out again. So that's actually a pretty nice looking quarter. Looking at some of the things, my lighting isn't the best, so I apologize for that. I am probably going to put this one between that AU55 and that AU58. So let's be a little bit conservative and call it an AU55. Okay, so we have these two quarters. We have the AU55, we have the MS63. Let's go ahead and do a wrap up. We'll talk about where we're going to go from here. So here are our two quarters. We got that 1941 San Francisco that we think, or I think anyway, is going to go into that AU55 range. We'll see. Hopefully it's a little better than that. And we have this one, and the camera does not do the luster justice on this particular coin. Apologize for the lighting. This 1947S, so 41S and a 47S. Amazing, amazing quarters. This one we think is going to be MS63. Let me know what you think they're going to grade down in the comment sections below. We will review these sometime in the future. I'm going to wait and send all of these in at the same time. That 59 mint set and these two quarters as well. simply because it's cheaper if you send a whole bunch at once. So I'll do a big submission with all 7 coins. And then we'll do a big unboxing at the end to see how we did. So again, this is my first time going through this. My first time learning how to do this, comparing back and forth between PCGS, Photograde. I'm going to send these to NGC and see what they have to say. Thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate your time. Hopefully you maybe learned a thing or two as we watch through and work through this. Let me know what you think. Make sure you hit that like button. Tell your friends. And as always, have a great day.